Good morning, 8-1. It's Mr. Young. Today's Monday, March 30th. And I'm happy today because Monday, it's week 2. I'm staying safe, washing my hands, going over everything. I'm trying to get the goatee to go a little longer and see what happens. But I want to be able to talk to you about today's math lesson, and we have a lot cooking. So we're going to talk about spheres today. And spheres are round objects that are in our everyday life, and one of them is an orange. Or you could take an apple. You know, apple is a sphere. Even an avocado is a sort of sphere, although it's oval, it's kind of a sphere. And, you know, everyday objects. So if you take a look, Mr. Young's is doing renovations, and you take a look at my lamp up there. I got my lamp up there, right up there. That is a spherical cylinder sphere. It's just cut off, missing the top and the bottom. But hey, that's okay. So as I'm learning how to use this, I want you to know this is pretty good for Mr. Young because I'm getting pretty far with it. I want to go over the steps that you need to do in order to be successful in finding the volume of a sphere. Now, it is on a state test, and as you get into 9th grade, you're going to see it a little bit more. But I'm going to go over it today step by step. And moms, dads, grandma, grandpa, if you remember, or guardians, you guys want to jump in and help Mr. Young out, I'm always appreciating anything you're doing. But first off, we got to go over the terms that are involved in finding the sphere of something. So I'm going to pop you right here, and we're going to go over it. So let's take a look. So first things first. So let's take a look. So sphere, right? I told you it's a round object. There's a couple of things that you need to know. The radius, we talked about this last week. The circle, the perimeter is called the edge. And the diameter is the distance from edge to edge, just like we did in the cylinder. And then the radius is half of the diameter. That's why I put the R there. So if you take a look, so you see the R. Good. So the volume for a cylinder, as everybody would say, is volume equals 4/3 pi radius cubed. So it's important to know that because the cubing makes it three-dimensional. All spheres, you know, are three-dimensional. Apples are one of them. You know, they're a three-dimensional figure. Oranges are, or tangerines in this case, clementine, is a sphere. It might have an odd shape to it, but it is a sphere. And the same thing with my lovely avocado. My avocado is it looks like an egg. It is a sphere, though. It is in the sphere family. So when we look at that, we're going to have to figure out different parts of it. So I want to go over methods of substitution and how to go ahead and calculate it. So here we go. So first things first, got to have your tools. Got to have a pencil, a tape measure or a ruler, and a piece of paper. So I went ahead and I drew my orange because I love oranges, especially in the morning. Great source of vitamin C. Keep your vitamins up while we're on this coronavirus. You know, you want to keep your body healthy and keep it going in a perfect way. So vitamin C is a great resource to keep away any colds or viruses. So although I don't know about the corona, but this here, vitamin C is very important. So taking a look at an orange for a moment, we're going to be able to determine from its center. I'm going to just draw a little dot in the center, not where the blossom was, but the center. And we're going to be able to measure the distance from the center to the edge to find the radius. Now, if we don't want to do that and we're unsure about being exactly to the center, what I would say, and I would tell everyone this, is measure from edge to edge and then draw your line, which is the diameter, like that. And if you go ahead and you do that, you'll be able to find it. So I'm going to go measure my edge to edge with my ruler, and I'm going to say that my edge to edge, or my diameter, in this case, is 3 inches. I'll go ahead and write that down. Diameter is 3 inches, right? Great. So now I know that my formula requires me to have the radius. So we've determined that radius is half of the diameter. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut the 3 inches in half. And I'm going to say my radius equals 1.5. Now 1.5 is half of 3. So we know that because we know that two ways. One, when I look at the ruler, and here's a ruler, just in case you guys want to know. I got this new one with all these markings on it because I love these. So here's 3. If I cut it in half, well, I know half of 4. If I look at half, so half of 3 is not 2, is not 1. You can't go in the middle there. But in essence, you have to get to 1.5, which is right there where my finger is that black line. So half of 3. Now another way to figure it out is if you wrote it down by writing 3.0, 3.0, so 3.0, just like this. And then you go ahead and you divide that by 2, right? You're going to find that 2 goes into 3 one time. We carry the point up. And then we're left over with 1. And half of 10 is 5. And we find out that we get 1.5. So that's how we find out we get 1.5. Now, looking at that, now we have our radius of being 1.5. Now we're going to use the form of substitution to plug it into my formula. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write it in. So volume equals 4/3 pi. I haven't changed anything yet from the formula. Now I'm going to add 1.5 cubed. I'm going to put it in brackets because I want to do that first. Remember, in PEMDAS, we do everything in the parentheses first. So I have to look at 1.5 3 times. So if we take an exponent of 3, don't forget, it's 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5. So I'm going to write it out here just in case the moms and dads don't know, and grandma, grandpa don't remember, or whoever's helping you doesn't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it just like this. So 1.5 to the 3rd power looks like 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5. All right, so it's not this times that. It's this times this times this. So you want to be very specific as to this. So I'm going to pause it right here because I got to use the calculator. And I'm already at 6 minutes, and I know YouTube doesn't like me going too long. So I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to come back with part 2.